Hey guys, welcome to the sports show with no name. It's a Friday Wednesday. Wait, it's a Friday. It's just a Friday. It's not a Friday Wednesday. It feels weird to be doing the show on a Friday. Honestly, since my kids have gotten out of school, I have no idea what day it is anymore, so it doesn't really matter. It's been a weird week, capped off by a weird Friday. Anyway, I'm your host, Chad Bryan. I've got Ben Bales with me as always. Ben, what's going on?
Nothing much.
How's it going, buddy?
Good.
Yeah. You see, I'm wearing my Braves shirt today. I had to celebrate the fact that the Braves have been struggling to score some runs. So yesterday, 2 days ago, I looked and I checked the score, and they were up 10-3, and I was like, hey. All right, and then you get updates on your phone every once in a while. I look down, it's 10-4 with one out in the ninth. And I'm like, okay, I just put my phone down because I'm like, I don't really need to. I mean, this game, that's in the bag. They're finally going to win a game. They're going to get back on track. They can't mess that up, right? You can't mess 10-4 in the ninth up with one out. So anyway, from that point on, Diamondbacks would go on to score a touchdown and convert the extra point, apparently. And the Braves lost 11-10. After having a 6-run lead with one out in the ninth yesterday, or 2 days ago again. I don't know. Again, I don't know what day it is. So that was super fun. Or was that yesterday? I don't even remember. This is how weird my week's been. I don't even know.
I know you texted me.
Anyway, I'm trying to put that out of my memory right now.
So,
right?
I don't know, dude. Baseball's crazy sometimes.
I don't want to talk about that anymore. Yeah, baseball is crazy, and that's the whole show today. We're not even gonna do headlines today. We're just gonna get right into it because I think both of us are a little bit pressed for time today. But we did want to try to just get something. We didn't get to go live last week because of the end of school stuff, and this week's been a little crazy. So, hey, Friday, a little late, right? Better late than never, I guess. Here we are. We're gonna do an MLB trade deadline show today. We're basically talking buyers or sellers, right? Is my team a buyer or a seller? And I think it's just maybe a little bit foggier than you would think. I mean, normally with the expanded playoffs in Major League Baseball, everything's different now. You used to really know, I think by the first couple of weeks of June, really what was going on with your team, right? Like you could tell, like, okay, they're 8-10 games out of a playoff spot. It's not happening this year. You may not have to like tear down and completely rebuild, but it was at least a short-term retool, right? Like,
yeah.
Get rid of a couple guys, maybe get a couple high-level prospects in there, see if you can't develop them quickly and get going. It's not quite as clear as that anymore. There are really only 5 teams right now in Major League Baseball. The entire Major League Baseball, if you look, 5 teams are really more than 8 games out of a wild card spot, or at least out of a playoff spot in some way.
Yeah.
In the American League, it's just it's the Athletics and the White Sox. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, with the expanded playoffs, I mean, what I can't remember if the playoffs were expanded back then, but like the year the Braves won the World Series, they weren't over 500 till July.
Yeah, no, 2021, and we had more teams, and then that's what made it like fuzzy because I remember, I mean, the Braves were they were big buyers at the deadline.
Yeah,
if you remember,
they went out and got like 4 outfielders and changed like
still
their
hadn't gotten to
team.
500. Everybody's like, "What are you doing? Like, you got to rebuild." But that's old school baseball. It's not the way it works anymore. And they obviously, like you said, they went on to win the World Series. I mean,
I think
that was a successful plan.
I definitely think that it's one of those things where it's like, if you make the right moves, and you're right around, like the wild card, pushing for a division title, like look at the Braves, right? That year they needed outfield help. They went out and got 2 or 3 outfielders and changed their entire season, went on to win a World Series. Like,
yeah. And a lot of that, I think, was just something as simple as just adding Jock Peterson's attitude to that clubhouse. Made a huge difference for that team. Sometimes that's what you need, right? You need that piece, that chemistry piece, and whether that's someone to come in and kind of stir things up or settle things down, that depends on the team, right? That's where a general manager really has to have their finger on the pulse of a team. I'm not sure what this Braves. I mean, we'll just start with the Braves. They're one of those teams in the National League that's kind of on the cusp. I mean, as far as teams that are really out of it right now, it's the Pirates, the Marlins, and then the Rockies. Hey, the Rockies have won 3 games in a row, though.
The Pirates are.
Watch out! Break them up. They're on a run. Yeah, the Pirates aren't good. The Marlins aren't good. The Rockies are historically bad.
I saw a stat. Paul Skeens is like 2-4 with like a 2.1 ERA, and he has like 60 something strikeouts. Somebody's like, this dude's about to go 4-16 and win the NL Cy Young Award.
All the pitching metric numbers are there. He's just they can't win. I mean, he keeps losing games like 2-1, 1-0.
It's like the year. Remember the first year Kluber won the Cy Young. The next year he came back and he was like 8-16 with like a sub-3 ERA, and you're like, what the heck is happening? He just wasn't getting run support.
Yeah, that's the joys of living in a small to mid-market city, right? You never know. Well, I mean, look at one of the teams. So I picked Texas, if you remember, at the beginning of the season to be kind of like my dark horse team, and I said, if Jacob deGrom's healthy, watch out for Texas. They're gonna be really good. Well, it turns out the pitching is fantastic. deGrom's been healthy. Yeah. Texas can't hit. No. I think Josh Young is their leading hitter. He's hitting like 2. No one's hitting anywhere near 300 on that team.
But speaking of that, though, did you see the? I mean, this is the pitcher. I mean, we talked about it. I don't know if you guys saw, but Jack Leiter is now using a glove that doesn't have like a finger hole in the back of it.
Okay.
Because he thought he was tipping his pitches because he got shelled in one start.
Okay.
And he thought it was because of his glove. So the next game he comes out with a different glove that has no hole in the back, no finger hole in the back of it. And fast forward to deGrom's next start, he has the same exact glove. Not the same exact, but obviously the glove with no finger holes. And people are speculating that, like now that he doesn't throw as hard, that he's superstitious that he's tipping pitches as well.
Okay. Didn't deGrom change his arm angle or something coming into the season?
He did, and that's how he lost some velo, but that's how he says he's staying healthy. So
okay. Well, healthy is more important than throwing 98, 99, right? I mean, I'd rather take 95 and 96 and healthy than 99 and on the forever DL or IL, whatever.
No, but
good for him. I'm glad he's healthy. I'm good for him,
Yeah, me too. Like that stretch he had in New York, that one year he had a higher batting average than he had ERA. Like that was like
I mean,
was wild.
When he was healthy, he was really something to watch, man. Man, I don't know. Speaking of like back in the day, right? You can always do the back in the day stuff. Just see speaking of the Braves, we'll stay on the Braves for a little bit. This is it. By the way, this is just kind of like a free for all episode. We're just anything we think of regarding the trade deadline, we're talking about today. There's no rhyme or reason. Like I said, we got to get out of here in just a few minutes, maybe a half-hour show today. The Braves have recalled Craig Kimbrell. The Kimbrell experiment has come full circle. He's going to be back in Atlanta. After there you go, right? After the collapse, the total collapse yesterday, I guess the Braves said we got to do something, right? I don't know what to do with Raisel Iglesias. I don't know what to do with Blewett. I mean, Blewett. Well, what a crazy last name for a reliever to blow it really in the ninth
kind
yesterday.
Of a perfect name.
It works, right? Not if you're trying to win a pennant, but it does work. That's for life imitating art or art imitating life, whatever you want to say. I don't know. The Braves have come full circle, calling the days of 2013 and 2014 back to the Kimbrell days, right? Hey, okay. Ben, it's one of these days, man. I always tell you we're gonna show.
Is that a bot?
Can anybody? Man, if you guys understood like the technical, no, Chucky, we can't get out of here. No one's helping you with money. Okay, but thanks for asking. Help us with money, Chucky. Come on. I mean, we're the show, right? You're watching the show. Give us money, Chuck. Get out of here. Oh my God. Anyway, what do you think? Are the Braves gonna come back and win the division or the wild card spot?
I think they'll get a wild card spot. I think now.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking Chuck. I want to know what Chuck thinks. We're gonna help him with money. I want to get his answers on the MLB. We gotta know trade deadline stuff from Chuck, right? You better know your stuff, Chuck. Man, coming on here asking for money. You better know what's going on. Anyway, sorry, Ben. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the Braves could sneak into a wild card spot, especially now that Acuna's back from injury, and it's one of those things. It's like when you lose your star player, everybody's kind of like slow and sluggish, and there's not really like a vibe or like
Acuna is a whole vibe, man. He exploded back onto the scene, right? I mean,
there's not really like an energy in the locker room and stuff like that, and like you get Acuna back, and first pitch he hits at 460. You're like,
right. The first pitch he sees coming back from a year on the
that's one amazing. Of the top 10 longest home runs this year.
Unreal.
There's the first pitch he's seen all year.
Yeah, he was his first Braves home run over 460 feet since he did it back in 2023 as well. So,
Yeah,
all right, well, all right. Hey, look, everybody, there you go. Get out of here, man. What is going on?
Can you block him?
We gotta work on that. That'll be the last comment I show. But that's the kind of day, that's the kind of week I've had. That's why this show is brought to you by the folks at Miller Brewing Company, and by the folks at Anheuser-Busch, right, Ben? Are we there? I don't know. What are we doing? It's that kind of show. Anyway, yeah, the Braves. I don't think they're going to win the division. I do think I still think the Braves can make a wild card spot. I really do think the Braves can win a wild card spot. Spencer Strider is another guy that's just kind of getting his footing back, right? He's just getting going. It hasn't been great. I think maybe they rushed him back to the major league staff just a little too quickly. Maybe trying to make up for the loss of Fried. Do you think the Braves regret not paying Max Fried?
After the year he's having, yes.
I mean,
the dude is about to win AL Cy Young.
He probably is. But I mean, you couldn't have. The thing is, with the Braves, it's the long-term commitment, right? It's the 8 or 10, whatever years. They weren't going to be willing to do that. I mean, the Braves just don't really do that with pitching.
No, and I think at the same time, right? I think like Fried was kind of one of those guys that was always wasn't super consistent. I mean, he was good.
Yeah.
But like Ozzy Albies came on, burst onto the scenes, and they extended him to a 5-year, $35 million deal early on.
Yeah.
They weren't able to do that with Fried, and I think that kind of hurt them.
Yeah.
Like you said, in the long run. Because
I think Fried always knew he was going to be a guy that held out for, kind of there's no max contract, per se, like, for the term in baseball. But I think Fried knew he was going to be one of those guys that held out for an 8 or 10 year deal when it was his time. And that's perfectly fine. The Braves just aren't really willing to provide that, especially to a pitcher.
Yeah. Not many teams are really.
No,
think about it.
No. Well, it's hard to predict 5 years out for a starting pitcher, let alone 7, 8, 9, 10 years.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. I mean, and Fried was a guy who pretty consistently was coming up with blisters in, late September, early October.
I remember that.
Yeah. Missing playoff starts. Again, not his fault. And don't worry, guys. Chuck will be coming over to Western Country either by summer or winter. That's a promise from Chuck. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. See, don't worry. That's a promise. All right. Western Country. So those of you in the Western Country watching us, don't worry. Chuck's coming. All right. That's a promise. Still hasn't answered my trade deadline questions. That's fine. Whatever. It's gonna be one of these days. Should have known. Yeah. So no, I don't think the Braves are ever gonna give Fried that kind of money, or at least that kind of a long-term commitment. So I don't know that, like, saying they feel bad. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. It's just unfortunate that he seems to be throwing his best baseball now that he's left, right? Like, that's unfortunate.
It's like the Guardians. It's like the Guardians. All these players they call up. They call them up. They're good for 6 years, and then we just watch them roll off into free agency because we don't want to pay them.
Right.
It's literally the only exception to that was Jose Ramirez because he wanted to take a discount to stay in Cleveland to win a World Series in Cleveland. Like, he is. Like, there's a reason why. There's a reason why the city of Cleveland likes Jose, and just he's the only guy that's done that. Everybody else is just like, well, you don't want to pay us? Okay, we'll see you later. Yeah,
I mean, it's those guys are few and far between. I mean, I think of Chipper Jones. I was just talking about it the other day. I was texting with a buddy that Chipper won an MVP at third base, and then went out and actively, basically advocated to the Braves to go get Vinny Castilla in free agency and said, I'll move to left field. Don't worry about it, right? Like, this guy's a stud. We want to win a World Series. Let's go get Vinny Castilla. I'll change positions right after winning an MVP.
Yeah.
And I'll take less money, by the way, so you can sign Vinny. Who does that? I mean,
and like I told people, I said, you knew Jose was going to be a guy that people would like from when he came up to the big leagues, and they, he's a natural shortstop, right?
Yeah.
But he comes up to the big leagues, and they have, they had a bunch of different guys at shortstop and second base, and he's like, okay, I'll play left field.
Right.
He's like, put me in left field.
Hey.
And then he went from left field. Then he went to second base when they got rid of, before they got Kipnis.
Yeah.
And they got Kipnis. He's like, okay. I'll move back to left field. And into left field. And they got rid of Lonnie Chisnall. He's like, okay, I'll play third.
Unreal.
And he just wanted to be on the field because he knew he could make an impact.
Yeah. And then there's, guys like Rafael Devers who are a little more steadfast in their beliefs about where they play on the field, right?
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's not wrong. I mean, maybe that's okay. Maybe that's where he's comfortable. Maybe he can't. Well, he hasn't really hit, regardless of where he's played this year. But I don't know. I guess there's no right or wrong way to do it. But I tend to lean toward the guys who are more team oriented, right? Like, I think I would have been that guy. I probably would have made the Players Association mad. I would have taken less money to try to win World Series
oh, for sure.
and not really set the precedent for the future the way the Players Association wants that precedent to be set of like, the building contracts and higher money.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can say that's ruining the game. You can say whatever, but obviously these teams have it. I mean, somebody's committing this money. I mean, the Dodgers seem to have plenty of it. The Yankees have it, the Cubs,
I mean,
the Mets and the Red Sox. That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it all the time. I think baseball needs to establish like a salary cap floor and ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Yeah.
Because
I think it's going to be a tough, I don't know. I agree with you, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Players wouldn't agree to it, but no. I think at that point, I think that's when the MLB kind of just needs to step in and be like, look, like, we can't have the Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series every year for 30 years.
Yeah. Well, people in LA and New York would disagree with you, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you're right. I think something is needed, but with the collective bargaining agreement, the way it is, and the Players Association having the power that they have, I mean, Major League Baseball can't just, they can't just, they can't implement it. They can't just say, hey, we're doing this now. And the players deserve to have, that kind of say and that kind of, but I agree that something needs to be done. That, I mean, we've phased teams like the Pirates. I don't know what the Pirates ownership situation is. I mean, it seems to be, Pirates fans seem to think they have plenty of money.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things to me that seems like all these small market teams, like, well, we can't compete, so why spend money?
Mm-hmm. But then, the argument, the other side of that, I mean, to play devil's advocate, you see a small market team in the playoffs kind of, I mean, go deep almost every year. Oh, so then the argument stands. Well, hey, look, you don't need to spend a lot of money. Like, here's the Rays. We spent $38 million on our roster, and we're in the ALCS or whatever.
But like I tell people, okay, and I'll play devil's advocate to that, though. When's the last time a small market team won the World Series?
For the Royals?
But at that time, though, they were spending money, though.
Yeah, okay.
Like, you had Hosmer, you had Salvador Perez, you had all these big name players, and like even now, you got Bobby Witt. I mean, now they're more of a smaller market team than they were back then. But like, when's the last a true small market team won the World Series?
I mean, we'd have to go back and probably do some research. I don't know. I mean, it seems like some small market teams have competed recently, but you're right. I mean, lately it's been Dodgers, Braves. I mean, Braves were a top 7 or 8 payroll when they won the World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to be the top 10 teams obviously have the most leverage there. Not that, again, some of these other teams I'm sure have the money. It's just a matter of whether they're willing to part with it, spend it, whether they're trying to be competitive, whether they're trying to just, bare minimum, make a profit. It's hard to, I don't know. I mean, right? You own the team, you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
But I do think there needs to be some kind of something to kick that competitiveness into gear, right? Where you should try to compete. There should be a salary floor, right?
Yeah.
But then
I agree.
You also can't have, $750 million payrolls either. I mean, that's a problem too.
I mean, the Dodgers have 17 pitchers on their roster.
Right.
And
now there's, I don't know if you saw this. Now there's rumors that Walker Buehler may end up back in LA.
Yeah.
So I mean, who else?
I mean, the Red Sox are. I mean, the Red Sox. That's okay. Speaking of trade deadline, I think the Red Sox are going to be sellers at the deadline. I think Jared Durant could get shipped. I think Buehler could get shipped. I think the only one that stays is Garrett Crochet because you just signed him to a huge deal.
Yeah, I think Aroldis Chapman probably gets moved, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's having a great year, by the way. What's he? 65 years old, still throwing 100 miles an hour. That's wild. That's unbelievable. I mean, this guy's my age, still 100 miles an hour.
Like I saw a report saying that the Red Sox are going to listen to Jared Durant trade offers, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
What kind of a team? Like, what kind of a team do you think he helped? Where does he go? Do you have any kind of a?
I mean, a team that he would help would be the Guardians, but because we need a center fielder.
Yeah,
but he'll go to a big market team that can afford to trade. 7 top 12 or 7 top 25 prospects.
Yeah, and whoever the biggest market team is with a guy like that on the IL, right? It'll just, the Cubs or somebody.
Yeah,
I mean, probably the Cubs. No, the Cubs have a great outfield right now. But we got maybe next week we'll talk about the All-Star break a little bit too.
sure.
Because I want to talk about All-Star voting. I think Aaron Judge might be the first player since Alex Rodriguez, I think, to lead in voting back-to-back years. It hasn't happened since Alex Rodriguez. What's that?
Wouldn't surprise me.
He's having a phenomenal year, but it's weird. He's kind of having like one of those quiet phenomenal years, right? Like nobody's really talking about him that much.
Because everybody expects him to do it now after the last couple of years. Like,
so you put yourself in that LeBron category where like even like LeBron numbers weren't good enough to win MVP, even though he was clearly head and shoulders the best player in the league, right? Like he's above everybody.
It's one of those things.
But it's old hat. It's like you're used to it. So it's like, well, he didn't do anything special, so let's give it to somebody else. It's weird. Yeah, I agree. Ohtani looks like he's going to win his third MVP in a row, right?
Probably.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we can do a whole awards thing. But yeah, the answer to whether your team is a buyer or a seller at the trade deadline, it really just depends. I mean, if you're a fan of one of those 5 teams, wow, I mean, good luck to you, I guess. The A's, the White Sox, Pirates, Marlins, and Rockies. I don't know. I know a couple of Pirates fans. I don't know. I guess I know some people that root for the White Sox, but I don't know any Marlins, Rockies, or Oakland fans. Or not Oakland, but they're just the A's right now. They're not even.
Dude, I saw a crazy stat. They were 22-20. They were 22-20 in their first 42 games.
Yeah.
In their last 30 games, they're 1-22.
Yeah, that's wild. But Jacob Wilson's still playing really well.
He is, but like
he's AL Rookie of the Year. You think?
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
But yeah, like they started off so hot, and then now they're 1-22, and you're like, what the heck happened?
Who knows? I think the reality sets in. I mean, you're playing at a AAA stadium.
Yeah.
Obviously, the amenities aren't there. I don't know that the amenities really ever were there playing at Oakland Alameda Coliseum, but I think stuff like that can weigh on a team. You know,
I mean, sure, yeah.
I don't know.
When you're so used to having, like the best of the best, and then you go to AAA and you're like, the heck's this?
Yeah. These guys are human. You know, they're used to a certain level of whatever. But I think that does play a little bit of a part in that. So I don't know. I mean, I can't answer. If you're one of those 5 teams, that's it. You're out of it, right? The Rockies, no, they're not going to do anything. The Marlins and Pirates, no. The A's and the White Sox, they're done. Everybody else is just sort of like hanging in limbo right now. And I think that's a weird place to be. You're just trying to find some footing, really. But it's going to be somebody's going to have to falter or somebody's really going to have to get hot. And then you'll start to see some teams fall into like, I don't think we'll really know who's a buyer or a seller until maybe 72 hours before the deadline. So it's something we'll keep our eye on. You know, it's a hard question to answer right now. But that's what makes it fun. I think the expanded playoffs make it more fun because you don't have teams giving up on the season on June 6th. You know, today's June 6th, and you don't see that. I think that's great. But it also makes it tough to figure out what you do for your future, right? Short-term and long-term. I don't know. And Ben, I think for your short-term future, you have a baseball game tonight to coach, right?
I do.
You got to get out of here. So listen, Ben's going to be a seller. Ben's selling on the show. He's out of here today.
I'm trading. I'm trading the show.
That's it. We're actually trading Ben. We're trading Ben to the Brunswick 18 and under baseball squad. What's your guys' team name?
The Brunswick Devils.
The Brunswick Devils. There you go. We're trading Ben to the Devils. And who are we getting back for the show? Nobody? It's just me solo?
Yeah, just you.
All right. Well, that's not going to be very entertaining. I did want to before we go. What's that?
Player to be named later.
I thought you said Mark Leiter. I was like, I'll take him. Had no idea he was going to. I'll take him. I did want to give a shout out to my high school baseball team. The Wapakoneta Redskins are in the state semifinal. They won their regional final last night in Avon. I do not remember who they played offhand because it's been one of those weeks, but they won 6-5 last night.
I think they played another team, didn't they?
They played another baseball team. Yeah, I think of all things to do, they played another baseball team, which is really weird. The regional final, you don't see that a lot in Ohio, but yeah, they won the regional final, so they're on to state again. So congratulations to them. I think that's a pretty cool thing to see. Congratulations to all the teams that are headed to state. I know some of those regional finals aren't quite settled yet. I think we've got some going on tonight if we can get them in, weather permitting.
Yeah.
We should know a little bit more this weekend. Maybe we'll give you the rundown of all the state pairings, all 7 divisions next week on the show. We'll have that in headlines for you. Maybe we'll have a little bit clearer picture of who's a buyer, who's a seller. And we'll talk a little bit about the All-Star voting. And we're still working on guests for the NIL episode. That's going to be a great one. And also pay attention. Chuck, you too. Chuck, pay attention. You too, buddy. because we're gonna have a fun episode. We're gonna talk about some of the hottest paranormal spots when it comes to sports venues and things like that in a couple of weeks too. I think that's gonna be a fun one to get into. Maybe we should save that for October, but whatever. I want to talk about it now, so it's my show. So,
I mean, we could.
Chuck, I don't want to hear your opinion on that. What's that?
We could and talk about it during like World Series time.
We could absolutely talk about it during World Series time. We could hold on to it. Let's do the research for the next few months.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, and then we'll come out with something around Halloween. We'll have that episode for you, so that'll be a fun one. Chuck, stay with us, man. All right, we're not going to give you any money, but we'll give you some prime entertainment. We'll talk about haunted stuff. He says he's working as a security guard. He's on night shift over there. I hope you don't get too scared. All right, you're going to be looking over your shoulder. Sorry, Chuck. That's the way it goes. All right, just stick with us until the World Series. We'll talk about all the paranormal spots in sports. Until next week, who knows what day it'll be, because I don't know what life is anymore. Thank you guys for watching. I know today was a very, very brief episode, but Ben's got to go. He's quitting the show for a day or two or a week. I don't know what he's doing. He's going to go coach baseball. Priorities. He's got them all skewed. Anyway, Ben, I'm just kidding, buddy.
I know.
If you guys have anything, comment on the, just obviously you saw Chuck was lighting us up today, man. Comment. Tell us, who do you think? Is your team a seller? Are they a buyer? Who should they go get? Who should you get rid of? Is it time to tear it down, rebuild? And maybe Chuck thinks we should tear down the show and rebuild because we didn't give him any money, but whatever. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week on the sports show with, we still don't have a name, right, Ben?
No.
Sports show with no name. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.